So this thing about what other people believe, I'm an executive coach, and so I had a recent experience with a client where their boss is bad and, all of that, and I'm attempting to help, except I could see I got kind of caught in a, I'm right, you're wrong, you're not seeing this right, and you're being, so when you said that.
You were in opposition to the person you were trying to help?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. So, and I could feel that in me, and...
Well, do you realize that this person's own inner being was in opposition also?
Yes.
Whenever you feel negative emotion, that's what that means. Your inner being is not seeing this like you're seeing it. Yikes.
Yeah. So now there's 4 of us there. So me, my inner being, them, their inner being, they're suffering because they're not seeing like their inner being. I'm not very empathetic or compassionate to them, so I'm not seeing it. So what do I do with that mess?
Well, what you do is you turn yourself and your inner being into one.
Okay.
First of all, you join vibrational ranks with your inner being. That's all you can do. You can't do anything for anyone else in that regard because you can't vibrate for them, but you could influence them. But you can't influence them in a way that will help them until you succumb or surrender to the influence of your own inner being, who is an uplifter, who is looking for positive aspects. And that's usually not what someone who is negotiating is looking for. They're looking for you to stand with them and push against someone else. So really what most people would be asking a judge or a jury or an attorney or a negotiator or even a coach, what most people who are fighting with someone would be asking of that arbitrator is, join me, come to my side to make me stronger. And what you want to know and what you want to help them to know is that I could come over there and join you, and you might feel stronger if I'm standing there with you. But we have really diminished our true power by standing against anyone. Does that twist your brain into a knot?
No.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there is always an answer. In other words, you've come to co-create with one another in harmony, and that doesn't mean in sameness. It doesn't mean you have to all want the same thing, but it does mean when you push against anything, you diminish your own point of attraction. And your point of attraction is what the name of this game is. The law of attraction is responding to you, you see. And so here is the best way of explaining the value of what we just said to you. You get it, that you are more than this physical body, and so is your client. You get it that you have inner beings. It's the long game. It's the eternal part of you. It's the part of you that existed before you came into this body. And it's the part of you that exists long after you are no longer in this body. It's the larger part of who you are. It's the strongest influence of who you are. It's the being that benefits from all that you live. So this inner being still exists in non-physical, even though you have come into this physical body. And this non-physical part of you differs from you in this primary way. This non-physical part of you has no split energy, is pure positive energy, is always advocating for the best of all things. And here you are as physical beings, you're sifting and sorting and knowing what you don't want and asking for improvement. And that inner being part of you is becoming the non-physical vibrational embodiment of that improvement. And so that non-physical part of you just becomes more and more and more and more and more value. So here's this non-physical energy now introduced into this subject of you and you, the law of attraction, and realize that the powerful law of attraction is responding to this non-physical part of you and also to this physical part of you. And can you feel, as the law of attraction is responding to this non-physical part of you, to this God force part of you, can you just imagine what that power must be? What that power for goodness, that power for clarity, that power for well-being, that power for upliftment, just imagine what that must be. So here is this powerful, 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 non-diluted, non-contradicted, non-resisted, powerful, powerful energy. And then here is you. When you join with that, when you let that influence, when you surrender to the influence of this well-being so that you become one with it, can you then understand your power, or what others who are watching you might call magic? Can you understand the leverage and the power and the energy and the clarity that you would have when you let yourself go with all of the things that you've asked for? So over time, we've been explaining this to you by telling you that here you are, an extension of that, and that here you are in this body, sifting and sorting, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, launching these rockets of desire, which is step one of the equation, ask. And then this non-physical energy answers. We began calling it a vortex. We wanted you to accept the realness of this vibrational beingness, and how all of the cooperative components are already gathered by this powerful force of attraction. And that's why it's such a powerful force of attraction. There's no resistance there. There's no, oh, should I, shouldn't I? There's no, is it right, is it wrong? There's no resistance to that. It is already understood by source energy to be an improvement in the expansion of your experience and of the universe. And then you stand in your physical body, in your physical personality, with your physical comments and words and partnerships and relationships. You stand at all times in some relationship to this powerful non-physical knowing, this powerful attraction-based influence. So don't you kind of want to go over there? Don't you want to be part of this upliftment? Don't you want to stop using unimportant nitpicking things to use as your excuse to deviate from who you are? Don't you want to stop taking yourself out of all of that power for good, for something that you are undoubtedly misunderstanding, like Esther did with the trees? It's just something that you're not seeing the whole picture on in most cases, and yet you're sacrificing something that matters, which really we are not too strong or exaggerating when we say is really life itself. You're squandering or pinching off your true ownership of this life and clarity by finding something that you've decided that you're going to push against for an inordinate amount of time. Now, of course, you're going to live life and you're going to see things you don't like. That is an absolutely normal thing to do. You're going to see things that you don't like. If you could not do that, that would be a good thing. A little bright light. These bright lights Esther's not looking at, but those bright lights she is. So as you are not pushing against, now if we really push against that, in a little while you'll all have your cameras pointed right at Esther. That's sort of how it works. The more you push against what you do not want, then the more of what you do not want becomes the experience, because you've stepped away from your influence of what you are wanting and into some other influence, some other influence. So it would be fair, Esther's thinking about making some bumper stickers for you, although she has no bumper stickers. She likes dash cards that say under the influence. Because everyone is always under the influence. You are always under the influence because law of attraction abounds. So the question that you want to ask yourself is, under which influence am I under? Am I under the influence of the whole of me? Or have I decided to nitpick myself away from that? So knowing that puts you in a position of being able to guide someone in a more productive way for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's I think a trusting of letting go of that, I don't know, opinion or knowing from the small me, and kind of going into a greater alignment with that bigger me.
That's because we started today by talking about how, as humans, you really like manifestations. You like to be able to see and hear and smell and taste and touch things. And so that sound in your ear that someone's speaking often holds more credence to you than the vibration that you are translating that you are sometimes unsure of. And when you are unsure of it, when you have not deliberately lined yourself up for the receiving mode, and you have not had enough experience with hearing it to know that you're hearing it, then sometimes as humans you doubt that connection while you don't doubt the yammering in your ear. And so a lot of people give more credence to the things that they can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. Esther said to us early on in our experience with her, but Abraham, it's true. It's true. There's evidence of it. It's true. So doesn't this truth deserve my attention? And we said, there are so many things that people have manifested because of their belief in them that you don't want in your experience. So we would use a different criteria for whether we are giving it our attention or not. We would ask ourselves, is this something that we want to perpetuate? Is this an influence that we want to establish within ourselves? Do we want to continue to beat the drum of that so that that active vibration within us keeps bringing us those kinds of experiences? Because you certainly have the free will to do that. Or do you want to give your attention to more of the things that you do want, thereby deactivating the vibration of things you don't want, thereby letting those things that you don't want drift off and away from you? But so often when you're dealing with what you might call normal people who don't yet know about their inner resources, who don't know about law of attraction, who don't know about this vast vibrational universe, who are making all of their judgments and their assessments and their opinions and their perceptions and their beliefs and their laws and their rules based only upon what they can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. And we think that is so difficult for you all because everything that is manifested is old news. So as a population of your planet, as you give the majority of your attention to the old news, which is what's already manifested, sifting it into piles of right and wrong and wanted and unwanted, you're missing all of those opportunities to prepare your energy for the creation of more things that you are wanting. You see, we're going to be doing a lot of this because this represents this pipeline of vibrations turning to thoughts and thoughts turning to things. This is where all of your juice is. This is where all of your fun is. This is where all of your creative power is. And this is where all of your satisfaction is. It's in this evolution, this expansion of desires. But so many people, and maybe many of the people that are coming to you for advice, they don't want to talk about this stuff. They can't see it. They don't want to talk about this mumbo jumbo, airy fairy, whatever they want to call it. They only want to talk about the facts of what has already been created. And we say, that's like the gum that the flavor's already been chewed out of. There's no more juice there. All you can do is regurgitate it and recreate different versions of it. But that's not what you came for.
Any tips on how do I get them off of that so that we can look at something more?
Well, here's the thing, and this is how we are with all of you too. Here's the thing. Until you have had a personal experience, because words really don't teach, until you've had a personal experience of releasing your resistance somehow. Maybe you were looking at a child that you love, and in your attention to that you had utterly no resistance, and maybe in that moment a wonderful thought came to you that you followed, and so you recognized the value of that kind of alignment. Or maybe you were bothered by something, and so you deliberately meditated and quieted your mind, and you deliberately allowed your vibration to rise, as it always does when you're not focused in opposition to it. And maybe you found that clarity, and maybe an idea came into your mind because you were in the receiving mode, and it was powerful because there was nothing that resisted it, and maybe you followed that impulse, and maybe it led to something wonderful, and so you know. But until you've had the experience, the personal experience of being in the receiving mode and receiving something that paid off for you in terms of really feeling good and leading to more that felt good and leading to more that felt good and leading to more that felt good, until you've had that personal experience, then whether it's coming from us or from you, it's just so many words. It just sounds to them like some other opinion. But here's the thing that you must consider. What's your power of influence? If you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, if you have taken the time to meditate before you confer with someone, if you are in utter alignment with source energy, if you've got your resiliency, if you've got your flexibility of mind and body, if you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you are visiting with them, your intuitiveness, your ability to receive, your ability for insight, your ability to put words together, your ability to influence them because you are under the influence of that broader knowing, they'll get that. But you just can't listen to their complaints and join them on that side without being under their influence. Esther remembers so well, long before Jerry or Esther met Abraham, Jerry intuitively understood from his own exposure to life experience that when people were down on themselves, that no good ever came of it. And he was a financial counselor. He was always trying to help people find a way to believe that life could be better for them in that way. And on more than one occasion, Esther watched him as he was offering words deliberately with the intention of uplifting the person that he was visiting with. Esther knew, because she saw him do this enough, that he believed in this person's ability. There was no question in Esther's mind that Jerry believed, and there was no question in Jerry's mind. His belief in this person was unequivocal, and that person rose to Jerry's belief on so many occasions. It was a remarkable thing to see, almost personality transforming, and for sure improvement in their financial experience. And more than once, Esther saw Jerry take a spouse or a partner or someone else into the other room, and Esther knew that what Jerry was saying to that person is, you know, I really believe in your husband, and if you don't tell me anything that keeps me from believing in him, I can really help him. Because she wanted to undermine her husband with truth. She wanted Jerry to know he's not good at this. He's never been good with money. He probably doesn't even understand what you're saying. And Jerry would not hear it, because somehow he knew, because life had shown it to him, what split energy feels like and what unequivocal alignment with source and the power of influence feels like, you see. And so it's not so much about what you say to them. It's about your preparation before you get with them. It's about what you're under the influence of. It's why so many physicians have so little value to offer anybody, because they believe in the illness. They're under the influence. They've seen too much. They know too much. They're way too smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Enough?
Yes, thank you.